What if I told you that one of the biggest myths in dating is also one of the most dangerous? We've heard, make him feel losing you, disappear, take longer to reply, act unavailable, show him what he's missing, and somehow he's supposed to realize you're the one. I don't believe that, because fear has never created character. It reveals it. Before we begin, if you're a woman who desires a healthy, committed relationship and you're looking for a community of like-minded women walking that journey together, I'd love to invite you to my House of Swans. You'll find the link in the description below. Now, let's get into today's video. After coaching thousands of women, studying male psychology, and making more than a few mistakes in my own dating life, I've realized something. The fear of losing you doesn't make a healthy man commit. It reveals whether he was capable of commitment all along. Today, I want to show you the 4 things healthy men are really afraid of losing, because once you understand them, you'll stop trying to create fear. You'll start recognizing commitment. Point number 1, he's afraid of losing the man he believes he should be. One of the biggest mistakes we make is assuming men are only evaluating us. Healthy men, they're evaluating themselves as well. Can I protect her? Can I provide? Can I lead? Can I keep my promises? Can I sustain the life I want to build? And can I become the man she deserves? Let me give you an analogy. Imagine tomorrow someone handed you the keys to your dream home, the home you've always wanted. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, everything you've prayed for. But when you walk into the bank, they say, you're approved as long as your finances match the responsibility of owning it. Would you suddenly stop wanting the house? Of course not. If anything, you would want it even more. But your attention would immediately shift from house to becoming the person who could sustain it. I think healthy men experience commitment in exactly the same way. When they meet a woman they genuinely see a future with, their attention shifts. Not because they're less interested in her, but because they're suddenly confronted with a man they need to become to keep her. And that's why I often say men don't commit when they find the right woman. They commit when they believe they can become the right man. Ladies, those are 2 completely different things. When a healthy man goes quiet, he isn't questioning his feelings. Sometimes he's questioning his capacity. Can I carry this? Can I sustain this? Can I build this? Can I keep my word? Because a healthy masculine love isn't just emotional, it's deeply responsible. And responsibility has a weight to it. A weight emotionally healthy men take very seriously. And that's why love doesn't automatically create commitment. Identity does. His identity. Number 2, he's afraid of losing his agency. This is where so many of us misunderstand men. When a man says, I need space, we often hear he wants another woman. This isn't necessarily what he's saying. Healthy masculine men don't fear commitment. They fear losing themselves. Not themselves as in another woman. Themselves as in the ability to think, to solve, to process, to choose, to become. Agency is one of the deepest psychological needs a healthy man has. This is why chasing almost never works. The essay, the constant texting, calling his friends, recruiting his family, showing up where he is trying to force certainty doesn't create closeness. It creates pressure. And here's something I teach all my clients. Men do not run from difficult conversations. They run from pressure that threatens their sense of agency. Because when a man feels he no longer has room to think, he begins to feel trapped. And trapped men rarely make good long-term decisions. Giving a healthy man space isn't rewarding bad behavior. It's allowing him to make one of the biggest decisions of his life freely. Because commitment that is chosen is always stronger than the commitment that is forced. Point number 3, he's afraid of losing the future he had begun imagining. I once dated a younger man. It started beautifully. We laughed together. We connected deeply. There was real chemistry. But over time, I realized something. He didn't have the emotional capacity to build the kind of relationship I wanted. He wasn't a bad man. He simply wasn't ready. So I ended the relationship kindly, lovingly, caringly, and clearly. I genuinely wished him well. Months later, he came back. He apologized. He wanted another chance. He wanted to become the man I had needed months before. But by then, I wasn't available anymore. And that taught me one of the biggest lessons of my life. The fear of losing me didn't make him become a different man. It simply revealed the man he had been capable of becoming all along. Sometimes the consequence doesn't create the lesson, it reveals it. Healthy men don't suddenly wake up because they're manipulated. They wake up because they finally understand what their decision has cost them. And sometimes by then, it's too late. Point number 4, he's afraid of losing the woman who believed in him. I think we underestimate how important admiration is to a healthy man. Not ego, admiration. A healthy man wants to know, Do you still believe in me? Do you still respect me? Do you still see who I am trying to become? This isn't about putting a man on a pedestal. It's about recognizing his effort. Because here's what happens. When a healthy man realizes he's about to lose the admiration of the woman he loves, he doesn't just fear losing the relationship. He fears losing the future version of himself that only existed because she inspired it. Healthy men don't just fall in love with women. They fall in love with the man they became around the woman. And when they realize they might lose both, that's often the moment commitment becomes very real. So, does the fear of losing you make a man commit? No, not if he's emotionally unavailable, not if he lacks integrity, not if he never intended to choose you. Fear doesn't manufacture commitment. It reveals character. It reveals whether he is willing to grow, whether he is willing to become, whether he is willing to take responsibility, whether he is willing to pay the price of building a life with you. And I think that's the lesson so many of us need to hear, because our job was never to make a man afraid of losing us. Our job is to become the kind of woman who doesn't have to manufacture her value. A woman who knows that if a healthy man sees her worth, he will either rise to meet it or he will step aside. Either way, she wins, because she no longer mistakes someone's potential for their capacity. She no longer falls in love with who he could become. She dates the man standing right in front of her. The space between attraction and commitment reveals the character of both people. He's discovering whether he can become a husband. We're discovering whether we can remain ourselves without abandoning who we are. And that's where real love begins. Now, here's the mistake I don't want us to make. Don't leave this video thinking, well, if fear doesn't create commitment, then consequences don't matter. They do. In fact, consequences are one of the most important ingredients in healthy love, but not for the reason most people think. So before you watch another dating video, watch this video right here, because I'm going to show you the 5 consequences healthy men actually understand and why boundaries, not manipulation, are what separate the women who were chosen from the women who were simply strung along. That video is what turns into understanding. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you in my next one. And in the meantime, do take care of you. I love you lots.